Human society operates on a binary of two groups, slaves and freemen. This division ignores socioeconomic status, political power, and occupational prestige. Instead, it relies solely on a relentless clock. Freedom requires ownership of 16 hours in a 24-hour cycle. This leaves 8 hours for external obligations. The arithmetic of this unallocated time determines existential autonomy. Ownership of anything less than 16 hours constitutes slavery. Whether the master is a literal overseer, a corporate board, or the obligations of high office, the status remains the same. Autonomy is a mathematical state of temporal sovereignty. We can apply this metric to the statesman, the businessman, and the scholar. The statesman's day belongs to the state, with the majority of their hours spent on policy and public affairs. Political power fails to reclaim the hours lost to these duties. The businessman allocates their cycle to management and market growth. Economic wealth cannot buy an escape from the existential math of the day. Even the scholar ties their hours to institutional research and academic demands. Intellectual pursuit bound by institutional hours is a form of enslavement. These institutions function by demanding the sacrifice of the 16-hour requirement. Prestige serves as a psychological wage, compensating for the surrender of temporal sovereignty. Only the individual who protects their unallocated time remains free, regardless of their rank in society. Societal utility is an invalid metric for existential worth. Professional ambition without time ownership is a voluntary form of enslavement. Beyond the external math of time lies the internal psychology of the slave. Those who lack sovereignty use hope as their primary psychological crutch. Hope is the worst of all evils. This mechanism provides a hollow illusion of future relief, while trapping the individual in a closed cycle. This illusion pacifies the individual, preventing the immediate action required to change their state. By stalling action, hope prolongs the torments of man. The passivity of hope avoids the friction required for genuine resolution. Hope encourages endurance rather than change, functioning as a psychological trap. It is a tool for suppressing human autonomy by guaranteeing continuous suffering. The alternative to passive endurance is the sovereign will. The sovereign will is the functional opposite of hope-driven passivity. The free man rejects future relief and exercises this will through uncompromising action. This action moves along a straight terminal vector. It aims toward a target designated as the great and the impossible. Targeting the impossible validates the sovereign will by ensuring the goal is not a task assigned by a master. This exercise of will ignores the biological urge for long-term survival. The slave endures for the sake of longevity. The free man acts for the sake of intensity. Immediate existential validation is the objective, not comfort. Agency requires trading the safety of survival for the friction of impossible action. The mathematical axiom of time provides the energy for the psychological vector of the will. Those 16 hours of unallocated time act as fuel. This temporal fuel generates the force required to break the closed loop of hope. Shattering the loop of endurance creates psychological clarity. The individual then expends their unallocated time along the trajectory of the sovereign will. Temporal freedom is a weapon used to destroy passive hope. The highest purpose of a free human is to attempt the great and the impossible. This trajectory carries an unavoidable consequence, the perishing of the individual. Perishing in this attempt is the successful realization of the system's goal. An authentic existence demands perishing in the pursuit of the great and impossible, rather than merely enduring continuous enslavement.